G'day guys, welcome to PBHQ Live. This is episode number 345. I am Dwayne Nichols. I'm here in Wagga with all of your paintball news from around Australia and more so throughout Asia this week, but featuring Australian teams, some of which have done quite well, so you'll be hearing all about that soon. If you're amongst the people joining in with me nice and early here on YouTube, you can drop a comment in the chat. Tell me who you are and where you are. Were you amongst those people playing in Thailand over the weekend? Did you play the Super 7s AMs this past weekend? Well, let us know if you did and what you thought of it. If you've got an event coming up soon, perhaps you're playing in one of the events that you see scrolling over on the side of your screen at the moment, you can let us know about that as well. Chris Dickens is in, Billy Colias, Michael Namoski, Ryan Bennett, Brad Short, Lockie Blunt. Lachlan Brown is in from PPG, who is, at least as best I know, still currently in Thailand. Estevan from the Wicked Warriors is in. Ryan Bennett saying the scrim day down in Victoria was good fun in the mud. Was happy with the arc bolt. Broke significantly less paint than most. That's interesting to hear. Did you get that as an upgrade on the gun? Because I have heard a little bit about them, but not a lot. Luke from Make It Rain is in. So yeah, a bunch of people joining in nice and early. And of course, you can hit the thumbs up just below the video. That's good. You can subscribe, of course, if you haven't already done that. But most importantly, just hang around and have a bit of a chat for the next 20 minutes or so, perhaps half an hour while we talk all things paintball. Speaking of paintballshop.com, they are the major sponsor, one of the major sponsors of the show, and they have some new colors in their PB Assassin Raptor packs. So Paintball Assassin, their own brand at paintballshop.com, that they get the gear manufactured themselves. Well, their Raptor packs that they've had for a few years now, they've come out in 5 and 4 pod combinations. You can get them in a whole heap of colorways, including these new colors that you see here on your screen. I can't remember the actual names that they have for them, but obviously yellow, purple, and pink, they've got names a little bit more creative than that. If you're looking to pick one up, you can go over to paintballshop.com and get them. They're one of the more affordable packs, and they have all of the features of the high-end packs, the strapped high-end packs, that is, not including the magnet ones or the strapless packs that are available. But if you're looking for a pack with the Velcro straps, the traditional style pack, you can do a lot worse than picking up a Raptor pack from Paintball Assassin at paintballshop.com. And if those colorways suit your color scheme, if you're someone that wears purple gear, or like PPG, who are in the chat, some of they've got like a bit of a purple and gray sort of deal going on. Well, maybe those guys might be able to pick up a pack like that. The yellow might be a bit sketchy, I thought at first look. It's not like the paint yellow that you typically see at tournaments, but I'm always just anxious about running that. But if you're playing scenario games or just to have fun, well, there's an option for you as well. Jordan Bradshaw is in at the moment as well. Oh, and Lachlan's still in Thailand for another 5 days. Time to rest. Oh, well, half your luck, mate. Enjoy it whilst you're there traveling around. And I do want to touch on that. I'll sort of come back to it in a little bit when I'm talking about the event in Thailand and specifically about PPG. What's cool about the week that those guys have over there. And Bill saying, I thought yellow was an illegal color in most competitions. Yeah, well, I've had different opinions on that. We've had players in the past wear like black Nike footy boots with like a greeny yellowy tick on the side, and the refs have asked them to wear different shoes. We've had, and then I've seen, well, Bill Colias is a great example. He runs that green Spire 4 that is like the exact color of the paint that some events has. And I've reffed and seen him get hit in the loader at events here at my own field and thought, man, that loader is pushing limits. So yeah, who knows? Kai says, hi, watching while away in Thailand. That is good. James Rich from the Wicked Assassins also joining in. So yes, yellow is typically a banned color. I guess you just have to know and speak to the event organizers depending on where you're playing and clear it with those guys if you're looking to pick one up. Gladiator are the other major sponsor, and they wanted to do a shout out to the guys. I'm just going to bump that across so you can actually see the logo. I don't know how that got thrown off to the side a little bit there. To STK Entourage, who did get first place in the Thailand Xball League that we're going to be talking about in just a moment. So I'll touch back on that in a sec, but a quick shout out from Gladiator to the guys from STK Entourage. There, Brad Short, yeah, he knows exactly. Oh, Billy's saying not anymore. He's using a dye LTR. Well, there you go. So somewhere there's probably a fluoro green, yellowy green Spire 4 for sale. So hit Billy up and see if you can grab that off him if he hasn't already moved it on. But yeah, the Thailand Xball League was on over the weekend. In Division 1, the Beeswaxes got the win. Speed second, Pattaya Battlefield Crew, so the hometown team, got third. And in fourth place was this team, Duckside, from Malaysia. They got fourth. Another great photo from One Mad. One Mad there. Just throughout Asia, I don't think anyone gets to as many events as he does. And you'd hard pressed to find any media that take consistently good photos as much as he does. So another shout out to him. And he'll also be at an event in Malaysia this coming weekend. So back from Thailand, straight into it next weekend as well. So this was, at Pattaya Paintball Park in Thailand. I have been told reliably that the Saturday got above 40 degrees Celsius, plus you get the beautiful humidity of any event or any country in Asia on top of that. I heard that some players had passed out. I heard that one player at least had to go to hospital. I heard a number of other things about heat stroke or near heat stroke. Guys just like with hydrolytes or electrolyte supplements, water just all day trying to maintain their fluids, playing in above 40-degree temperatures. Honestly, I imagine if I was running an event here in Wagga at my field, if the day was scheduled to be 40 degrees, we would play as many games before midday as we could, and then I'd call it. I would not be asking players to play in those kind of temperatures. Apparently the Sunday was in like the mid-30s, was a bit cooler, but yeah, it's just absurd temperatures to be playing paintball in. Absolutely mental to ask players to do that. Congratulations to all the players that did and survived that. That's, like I said, it's insanity to even think of playing in 40-degree temperatures. Again, with the humidity as well, that's just nuts. I heard that the paint, all things considered, with that heat and humidity, was good. I heard that the event organizer in particular went to extra lengths to make sure that everybody had the best time that they could. Some of the feedback from the guys from STK and from PPG were saying that it's amongst the best events that they've ever been to. I also seen that Elmo sharing some videos, and despite rupturing an eardrum on Saturday's games or during Saturday's games, he said that it was a great event as well. Chester's just joining in. Kai saying the heat was not fun. We didn't finish our last game until 7 p.m. on Saturday. Yeah, so I also heard that it was, I think, 7 a.m. first game and then right through until 7 p.m. on the Saturday, which that's a big day. A lot of paintball to be played there. And then the Sunday was equally as long. I think it was like a 10-hour or 11-hour Sunday worth of games as well. So not only was the heat something to battle with, but the length of the days is just, massive days of paintball there. You will not ever have an event. I think the earliest events start here in Australia is 8 a.m. and I can rarely think of an event that's gone past 5 p.m. In a single day, not that I'm aware of. So whilst there was a lot of good feedback about that, I think, I don't know if it's a scheduling thing. I don't know if this time of year is particularly hot in Thailand or if they just had an unusually hot weekend. But both teams that I've spoke to said they're looking to head back in December to play again. So that gives you an indication that the event was good. Heard good things about the refereeing for the most part as well. But then I did see Elmo do a little live video late yesterday afternoon and said there was a little bit controversy as far as that's concerned. Oh, Lachlan saying the next one's going to be 3 days. So that's a good bit of feedback there too. And I did want to mention, so touching on Division 2 here, STK Entourage got the win. Kenyan Paintball from Malaysia got second. Golden Dragons, I'm not sure where they're from. I think that was a team that was a combination of players from a few different Asian countries. I could very well be wrong. Another great photo of Kyrul on the run, playing with the Savages at this event. And then in fourth place, so the last final spot was PPG Anomaly, a mixture of players from Sydney and Canberra. And I believe they had one or two Thai-based players also jumping in with those guys for the weekend. And paintball is pretty cool, and in the sense that, so the guys from PPG and Lachlan, it's good that he's in the chat at the moment because he can correct me, but I am of the belief, at least, that Lachlan, Carter, Alex, who were on that team, as best I know, none of those guys knew one another prior to last year, or maybe late 2021 when they played a few NXL ACT events. They came together on separate teams initially, and then together on teams playing at NXL ACT events. People that did not know each other at all, and now they're traveling internationally to play paintball together. You just don't get that if you go to your local footy club, or you sign up to play soccer, or whatever the case might be. You don't get to travel internationally and experience these types of things with your mates. You obviously had Mo, Brandon, Elmo, and the guys from Raw that went over and played in Division 1 as well, and only just missed out on playing finals. Paintball's really cool in that way, that you get to go over, you get to make these friendships, first of all, that you get through paintball, and then, yeah, you can experience things like traveling internationally with your mates. So, and the travel is just as fun as the paintball is. And Lachlan is saying, our whole team, including some of the Raw boys, are all watching around my phone on a yacht at the moment. That is very cool. If I had have planned it a little bit better, and I had a way to patch you in like instantly, I would have had you guys jump in on the chat. But yeah, I mean, that's just touching on, they're all on a yacht somewhere in Thailand at the moment, watching this for some reason when they could be doing 101 other things in Thailand tonight. But that's cool. I'm glad you had a good weekend. It's just a great story to come out of playing paintball. I mean, just a really cool thing that you get to do. And Billy saying paintball is always awesome fun, especially when you travel. Totally agree. Yeah, I'd recommend anyone to do it. I've been to World Cup Asia years ago in Langkawi and seen some of the teams over there when it was at its absolute, or maybe not its absolute peak, but when it was attracting like 80 teams at the time. So cool, such a great experience. So yeah, everyone should do it. Check your Facebook for a photo. Okay. Brandon Miller's sending me some photos. Let me just, got the phone here separate. Blurred images. Maybe I can't look. Is Facebook suggesting that something's wrong here? Oh, if you, okay. No. Maybe it might have picked up a, here we go. Live photo of Alex and Lachlan. It looks quite nice over there too. Decent enough weather to have your shirt off. Definitely not the case here, by the way. So yeah, great to hear good things, and special mention to the organisers of the event, because Alex, in preparation for the event, did mention the lengths that he went to help accommodate Australian teams with all of the necessary things to get them there, and helping them out with equipment that they may not have had. And then speaking to Lachlan and other people, yeah, they've had a good experience at the event, and I spoke to the STK guys as well. They said the event was unreal, so they're looking forward to going back. All good things that I heard about the Thailand event over the weekend, and of course a massive congratulations to the guys from STK. No small feat to go over there and win, and they won. It was 35,000 Thai baht. I think that is the equivalent of like maybe 1,500 or 1,600 Australian dollars, there or thereabouts. So not a bad prize pool. Teams were shooting between sort of 30 and 40 boxes of paint in Division 2, I am told. So a fair chunk of their paint bill covered from the event. over on the weekend. And then back home, Super Sevens had their M's division Make It Rain. Got the win from Dubbo, the people on your screen here. An absolute bunch of legends. Most, if not all of them, were here at the Wagga 3-man maybe a month or 5 weeks ago. So we can only conclude that if you come and play the Wagga 3-man and then play M's at Super Sevens, you will win. The Convicts from the mid coast or mid north coast, they got second place, and the Young Beamers, Gaddy's team of young players, most of them under 18, and I think all under 21 or something like that. I'd have to double check with Gaddy, but those guys rounded out the podium, getting third place there. Good photo of Make It Rain, and I spoke to Luke today. They played with 5 for the whole event. Only 5 players, no pit crew, no pod runners, no nothing. 5 players to get through the event. Apparently in the finals, they had some help. I think Grace Jeffrey, they said, jumped in the pits for them to help them out in finals to get them through, and they won the event. So shout out to those guys. I mentioned it on the show a month or so ago when they did play the Wagga 3-man, how they left the pits here, and they were the catalyst for why the pits were so clean. I'm not sure if they repeated that effort up there at the Super Sevens, but quality people, quality paintballers, and I'm so happy to see that they got the win. They did say that they liked the field layout despite shooting 28 boxes for Make It Rain. They are always amongst the top shooting teams when they play the Wagga 3-man too. Pretty heavy on the trigger, those guys. But Young Beamers, who got third, they shot 15 boxes, which is apparently on the high side for them, and most teams, it seems like, were somewhere in that sort of 15 to 20-ish range of boxes of paint. I'm still of the opinion that that's a little bit high for the M's division. I'd probably like to see it go back to Mercy too if I was in charge, but I'm not in charge, and they're still getting decent numbers there. So congratulations to the team. Billy Cly saying Grace and Broderick were the ones who jumped in. So yeah, good on Grace and Broderick for helping them out. It's tough enough to play an event just with 5 players, even if you do have a pit crew, but if you don't, it's almost impossible. I don't know if it was they had the deal that whoever died first was picking up pods or how they got through the prelims, but they did, and they won the event. So shout out to them. The Adelaide Bounty Hunters, just proving how tough the M's division can be, who won the previous event, didn't feature in the finals. So they had a different team this time around, but didn't make finals. So it's going to be a pretty tightly contested division. Mike did film a lot of the games if you want to go over to Mike's Facebook page and check him out. And he also said that there was a couple of standouts throughout the course of the day, and that he believes a few players that were playing yesterday will be eventually pros here in Australia. And Lachlan saying, yeah, they shot 38. STK about, yeah, I spoke with the STK guys. I think they said 38 or 39 as well. And then Raw 30. I didn't actually message those guys, but you're with them right now, so you would know. So, yeah, and I believe Alex might have told me, I think it was like 1,800 baht per box, which is $75 or $80 Australian per box of paint. For what was, I'm told, pretty decent paint. A few bounces, but you'd have to expect bounces in that sort of heat. Yeah, I don't know what the feedback is from more people with the Super Sevens field layout. I think the layout probably contributed, or almost certainly contributed, to the amount of paint shot. That big back center, they've got one of the giant bricks in back center. The few videos I did watch that Mike shared, teams are double stacking that thing. I think in the pro division in particular, teams that go up early, if you've got a 1-0 or a 2-0 lead, there's no way you're going to blow a 1 or 2-0 lead on that field. You'll be able to lock down so many zones with the way that the back sort of line of bunkers is set up. I think that the best teams will win, and win in low scoring matches, if I'm going to guess. I've been proven wrong before, but we'll see. Yeah, about $75 once it's converted from Thai baht to Australian dollars. So yeah, that's really cool. And Craig saying, gotta love the dead man walk. Did someone in M's try did you, Craig, try a dead man walk? That is something that I've seen Elmo do here at the Wagga 3-man. I've seen Elmo try it on the pro field and fail as well as at work. You got to have a big set of paintballs to try that. And I've only heard of someone trying it against Asylum once at an event I wasn't at. And Chris Thomas assured me that the guy didn't make it past the 50. He was a bit perplexed as to why someone was walking down to the far end when their pits were at the opposite end, and said that he made sure that he turned around and walked back to the pits. So yeah, I don't know. I'm so not trusting. If you're on the field, I'm probably going to, I wouldn't overshoot, but I'd certainly make sure that you just don't continue walking. Pretty mad if you got away with it, Craig. I don't know if there's video footage of it, but I'd love to see it. And a quick touch on the event down in Melbourne over the weekend. They ended up cancelling the NXL. They put on a scrims day. They had the coldest weekend in 23 years. 30 players turned out. So you could have had 6 teams potentially if all of those players were to have been on teams. I know they had a couple of bushball guys mixed in with the speedball guys. Another great photo from Birchie. She's one of the best here in the country as well. Yeah, 30 players is a pretty decent number the way that Victoria has been lately. Obviously not being an event, some of those guys with the competitive edge, and also being a ridiculously cold weekend, some of those guys that may have been umming and ahhing about going out would have decided against it. So I think that's a decent turnout. I hope they build on that. I know Birchie's talking to the guys from Coldstream on how to progress forward down there in Victoria, because the numbers have been struggling so much. So hopefully they're coming up with an idea on that. Apparently 2 teams tried the Dead Man Walk. Refs don't care. Yeah, and got some good footage of it. Yeah, well, I don't think refs can do anything about it. I think it's one of those things that's frowned upon. But I don't know any rule book that explicitly says that you can't do it. So if you can get away with it, best of luck to you. And if you're not familiar with what a Dead Man Walk is, essentially you just walk out of your bunker and try to walk down the sideline or through the center of the field without being detected, and then shoot people. If your gun's down by your side, some people will think that you're walking back to your pits, and if you get away with it, best of luck to you. I've never been brave enough to try it. Not even in a social game have I been brave enough to try it. So yeah, I just cannot imagine how people think mid-game, you know what's a good idea? I'm going to just walk right down the field here and see if I get away with it. It's such a low percentage play for mine. I couldn't see myself doing it. And speaking of the Victorian scene, just touching back on that and how they're looking to grow. Not only Victoria, I did speak to Matt Kashadi about this over the weekend, but I want to combine a bit of a maybe humble brag in with an idea that I've repeatedly had success with, and I know it can work elsewhere. It has worked so many times here in Wagga. There's just no way that it wouldn't work in other markets, especially with cities that have populations 10 and 20 and 30 times bigger than ours. Last Monday, while setting up for PBHQ, I put together this little image and I put up an ad on Facebook with some targeted advertising for particular people in towns near to Wagga. And by Thursday of last week, so 4 days later, I had sold out all 10 spots, and I had only spent $58 in advertising on Facebook. The team spots are $390 per team, so $3,900 for a beginner's tournament that I got together off $58 of advertising. 2 of the teams did have players returning from a previous event that got back to me when I contacted previous teams, but 8 of those spots filled directly from the Facebook marketing. It is so simple to do. That is 24 brand new players at least, if not more, coming out to try tournament paintball in a social setting where if a couple of them come back and play a tournament or train with the Asylum guys or head to play a Super 7s AMS or an NXL Victoria, NXL ACT if it ever gets up and running again, it's just such a simple way to do things. I've pretty much got the formula nailed now where anytime I do these, the 10 spots sell out within a week or so. If I can do it here in Wagga and get 10 teams, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, there is no reason why you shouldn't be able to copy what I'm doing and get the word out about these events. And I'm open book here. I've got nothing to hide about how I do it. There's no secret. It's not hard. Yeah, if you want me to take this image and put a photo of your venue there or your logo and just ever so slightly tweak it, I can do that too. I've got the wording for the ad all sorted. It's really, really simple. I recommend anyone should do it. Brad Short saying a Beamers player ran down to Bunker's snake corner and they both missed each other, stopped in the corner, reloaded, asked for a ref check, called clean, and then shot him. Yeah, well, the snake corner is such a big bunker, you could probably have a cup of tea in there before you go around and find the guy on the other side. But yeah, so that's what's happening here next month on the long weekend for a beginners event. And if you are in any way involved with your local field and want to make that happen at your field, reach out and I'll help you out, make it happen. I reckon everybody should. What else do I have to mention here? Oh, quick preview. I don't know a great deal about this event. What I do know is that I really like the field layout. I thought this was pretty cool. Like the snake, like the Dorito side, even though I'm not super thrilled with the inset and outset Doritos. But it's pretty cool. I like that. I like the center. Yeah, cool field layout for the NPSL in Penang, Malaysia. They have 3 fields running 3 separate divisions. So an open division, a division 3, and a mechanical only division. It's being played at a polo venue that I looked up. And I don't have photos of it queued up for tonight, but the venue looks unreal. Really cool venue for paintball. And in something that I thought was cool, and I've only seen it done a handful of times here in Australia, they had, for each division, a pre-purchase option for paint. So they've sort of estimated that in, say, Division 3, we expect that you might shoot between 15 and 20 boxes of paint. And I don't know the prices. I didn't convert it from, Malaysian ringgit. I didn't convert it from their currency to Australian dollars, but just say, for example, that the paint is $95 a box if you buy it at the event. They've given you the option, if you prepay for 15 or 20 boxes, that you can get it for like $87.50, for example, and save $7 or $8 per box if you pre-purchase your paint prior to the event. I have heard of that being done in Australia once or twice. Obviously, you can still purchase additional paint at the on the day rate if you want to, but you can save money by pre-purchasing. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. Maybe organizers could look into that. You'd obviously, as an organizer, you tend to know what most teams are likely to shoot at an event. If you've ran events in the past, you have a history, you'd probably have all the data on that and you could work it out. Pretty cool way to offer teams a bit of a discount, and also you know how much paint to have on hand for the event. What did I say? Oh, Billy and Brad are just talking about the run. Yeah, I don't know if there's footage of that from Mike's one, but if there is, someone tag me in it. I'd love to see how that played out. But yeah, so that's the NPSL coming up this weekend, and One Mad will be there again. So you'll see more photos from him next week on the show here. And if you are tracking along here at the moment, you'll also see the following weekend, Super 7 Semi-Pro is coming up. NXLWA is coming up. Right there, look at that Brendan Asker hip slide. Absolutely picture perfect. I'm sure he can, for a small fee, teach you how to look that good. And then, yeah, Super 7's Pro is coming up, single day event towards the end of the month. And then beginning early June, you will see the Singapore Paintball Series and the New Zealand Race Series are also coming up at the beginning of June. So a couple of big events coming up. Quick shout out for some birthdays. Eric and Al celebrating birthdays today, so happy birthday to you guys. Darren Coburn here in Wagga, a big part of the Asylum family. He is celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Dan Woods, Bell, Ash, Danny Harant pictured here playing at Wagga 3-man with his hair just flowing in the wind. Liam and Nick from down in Tasmania all celebrating birthdays this week as well. Happy birthday to all of you. I hope you have a great birthday. And to wrap up tonight's show, let me just scroll down a little bit lower here. I have a big old list of all the patrons of the show. So the Patreon supporters, all these people here, some of which are in the chat at the moment. these people all have the chance to win a Push Unite. So I'm going to randomize this list 3 times. The person in the number 1 slot after the 3rd spin will win. So let's get on with it. You can see there, randomize. So Jeremy, who plays here in Wagga, he is not the winner, at least not this spin. 89 people in the list. Let's spin it up again. Connor, also here in Wagga, not the winner. If you can, yeah, I'll scroll up high enough so you can see that. And 3rd time around, the winner is Nick Fox. And Nick is in Victoria, I'm fairly certain. I'd have to double check. I will go through and double check on that. It's pretty difficult to remember every single person and where they're from. Let me get that back up and bring it back to me. But Nick Fox, winner of a Push Unite goggle, all thanks to PBHQ and paintballshop.com, and of course himself and all the other patrons that support the show and make this happen. It is only because of the sponsors of the show that are scrolling along up here, and of all the patrons of the show, that I can take every Monday to spend the day chatting to people all around the world about the paintball events that they have played and that they have coming up, and doing all of the graphics and all of the other stuff. So what are we? Oh, someone's saying that there is a rule. Yeah, right. Apparently there is a rule against it. Well, there you go. I'd have to go through. I've never seen it, but yeah. And look, I get it's almost like more fool you if you get caught by that. If you see someone walking down the field, just shoot them. Just shoot them. Don't give them a chance. It's the best way to avoid it. So, Nick, I'll reach out to you soon, mate. Thanks, everybody, for checking it out. And I have mentioned it the last few weeks as well. I think I've still got the graphic here somewhere queued up. If you, for whatever reason, have joined in late and you don't want to go back and watch the show, if you want to listen while you drive to work tomorrow or you're on the train or whatever the case might be, I have been uploading the shows to Spotify and you can go and check them out over there each week as well. And this one will be up either tonight or tomorrow morning for you to listen back to catch up on everything PBHQ. Thanks for joining me tonight, guys. Hopefully you can join me again next Monday with the results from the NPSL and the preview for the Super 7s semi-pro division coming up. Until then, have a great week. Bye.